Good morning. I hope everybody had a good trip here at Chicago. It's my pleasure to welcome you here. My name is Tim O'Connell. I'm from the University of Minnesota, and I'm one of the two organizers, along with Chris Heinen from the University of Connecticut, and our ASBMB person, Erica Zabrasi, who you've probably all met outside. So we're happy to have you here today. We're going to have a nice program. We've invited a number of speakers from several different professions. We've got traditional academic careers represented, as well as careers in industry, and then some non-traditional careers. So we're going to have talks from all of them. Now, you're also going to have a chance to interact with these people in a couple of ways. First of all, we're going to have breakout sessions where you're going to be able to ask them questions. So what I want you to think about while they're talking is come up with some questions that you're really interested in about what these careers are like so that you can ask them in our breakout session. Secondly, you're going to have a chance to interact with them at lunch. So you'll be able to have a little bit more intimate conversation in a smaller group. So if you don't get to ask your question during the breakout session, maybe you can approach them during lunch, okay? And with that, I'm going to turn it over to my co-organizer, Chris, who's going to have a little more specific information about today.
Thank you, Tim. Good morning, everyone. So glad to see everybody here today. ASBMB has been doing this career development event for grad students and postdocs for over 10 years now, and this is my 9th year coming here. And I'll say that today is the biggest one we've ever done, both in terms of the number of you all that are here, which is fantastic, as well as the number of speakers we have today for you. So I think this is going to be a great day, and I'm looking forward to it. I will say there are seats up in the front. This is going to be a full room, so if you're hanging out in the aisles and it's going to be a long morning, so you might want to come grab one of these chairs up front. Just a couple business things to take care of. First of all, to the travel awardees that are in the audience, you will need to sign in again after lunch, so make sure you do that or you won't get your reimbursement. So that's an important detail. Couple of other things I'll just point out. When this is all done and you guys all go back home to your institutions, hopefully all fired up and inspired, there's going to be a survey that will get sent out to you, asking you some questions, asking you how this event went and your thoughts on it. Do us a favor, take a minute and fill that out and give us your feedback, both good and bad. Every year, the three of us sit down and we spend quite a bit of time going over those responses, and we make changes all the time. For those of you, the travel awardees that were here last night, that networking reception, that was a product of past people giving us some ideas. And you're going to have a coffee break here after the first several speakers, which I'm sure you'll appreciate, and that also came from the survey. So, we listen to these types of things, and where we can make changes to improve this, we do. So do us that favor. Let's see. The other thing I'll just say, we'll talk about this more a little bit later, is, unfortunately, as we've discussed a little bit, we can't participate in the march today because the scheduling just didn't work out. We're going to try to do some type of virtual show of support here after this morning's session, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later, but it'll involve, getting together and taking some photos and social media and all that fun stuff, and so we'll talk about that a little bit later. But if you're wondering, we do want to at least acknowledge that, we're supporting what's going on around the country today, and we want to somehow be a part of that, so that will come up a little bit later in the morning. And the other thing I'll just say that I also want to thank ASBMB. You may have noticed that they've gone out of their way this year to hire about 1,000 superheroes to roam around the convention center to protect us while we're here this week. And so I really think that we should appreciate that. So with that, let's get this morning going. So we're going to start with a few. You took mine. The list, so I know what we're doing here. Okay, so we're going to start with academic speakers. And so what we've done is we've brought in three really talented professors who represent some different areas of academia. And so our first speaker is going to be Dr. Suzanne Barber, who's actually the dean of the graduate school at the University of Georgia. And so she'll have that perspective of working in research and with students at a sort of a large campus like that. We'll then have Sarah Heimovix from the University of St. Thomas in Minnesota, which is a small, primarily undergraduate campus, so we'll kind of get that perspective as well. And then Mark Mandilla will be our last academic speaker, and he is a pretty much a brand new faculty member at the School of Medicine here at Northwestern here in Chicago. So we'll sort of give a little different perspective on some different types of careers in academia. So with that, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to turn the podium over to Dr. Barber.